Hey, howdy do! Are you excited for Breath of the Wild 2? Hey guys, I'm back with another drawing video, and this one is of Zelda from Breath of the Wild 2. This was actually recorded straight from the source, straight from the Sheikah slate. Now, it took me a lot of, time and tactical persuasion skills. See, I asked Link to borrow the Sheikah slate to record the commentary. He said no. I said... And then that's how we got here. But yeah, I'm back with another drawing video. This, I guess if there was a prompt for this one, it would be Zelda from Breath of the Wild 2 using the multi-bomb death balloon attack from Age of Calamity. I'm pretty sure that's not a spoiler if that was in the trailer, but I don't know, it's an attack. There's more important things to be spoiled, which don't worry, I'm not gonna get into in this video. This is just in hype of Breath of the Wild 2 coming out in, like 7 more years at this rate. It'll be worth the wait, but I'm still like, damn it, I want to play it. But yeah, I just wanted to make this Zelda art, and this is one of those ideas that you think would be a lot more straightforward than it actually is in your head. You're just like, yeah, Zelda standing there looking cool, big explodey in the background, and then the more you actually start working on the drawing, you just have that slow and sudden realization of, oh no, you decide to pull up those reference images and you realize that her design is actually very detailed, and you die a little bit inside, but you already committed to do it, and you are already 4 hours into the drawing, so it's too late. You can't turn back. Any reasonable person would tell you, all right, we could stop here, we could cut our losses, record something else. It's not like you have a library full of things that could be turned into potential speed paints that you've already done the work for. Would make life easier that you just need to sit down and ramble about for 10 minutes about. That's great. You've ranted about less important things for longer amounts of time before. But here we are talking about this and why it's a bad idea, but why I did it anyway. But the prompt for this is basically, she's using that big explodey bomb attack. And I thought it was pretty cool. And I feel like this drawing was really good for texture in clothing, particularly. Just because you'll see the blue on her dress part of it has kind of a sheen to it, and then the white shirt that she has underneath. I don't know the terms for any royal clothing, so I'm sure that there is a super specific finite word for what these things are called that I don't know. So I'm just gonna call this the royal blue tank top, and then the white t-shirt, whatever. But I actually found that it was really good for clothing practice, and I actually tried to change up my workflow a little bit in this drawing. I'm sure that this is probably common sense, very obvious to other people, not so obvious to me because I'm one of those people that goes under the category of not smart. But what I did was I tried to keep this on as few layers as possible. So the head is its own layer, the entire body is its own layer. Then the arms, because they're technically behind the rest of the body, are their own layer, and then the poofy sleeves, which come at the very end, that's its own layer. But the point is, I try to work on everything, at least as far as it's segmented and, separated, on its own layer. But what I would do is I would make a layer, duplicate it, and then I'd work on the top layer. So, if I work on something and I decide it's cool and it turns out okay, I can keep it. But if I screw it up and those 10,000 undo states that I have aren't quite enough because my computer's on fire because there's only so much RAM that it has in that thing, I can, still go back to a previous version of when things didn't look like a horrible nightmarish mess, and we can still keep working on the drawing and then try again. So, the short and sweet of that is I have a backup layer underneath, and then I have the layer on top, and I try to paint on only that top layer. So, if things go horribly wrong, I have a backup. If things somehow by some miracle didn't end up in a trash fire, then cool, we can keep it. And I found that was actually really helpful with this drawing because there was a lot of different kinds of texturing going on. Like you'll see in her pants here, they're made out of the world's single shiniest material in all of Hylia. But yeah, I think that the pants shine was really fun to work on. The metal especially, that was super fun to work on. Some friends of mine actually brought up to me how I can use some ambient coloring effects just to make it look like metal. Because, she's in a bluish tint of a hellish explodey environment. So it's not going to be the traditional yellow and brown, you know, since she's in a bluish environment. Metal's reflective, it has more of a bluish whatever to it. I'm sure they could do it better, but from what they explained and what my small brain could understand, this is what we tried to do. And yeah, I try to make, like, you know, the white shirt a bit more like soft looking, and then the blue whatever being like that extra crisp velvet Hylian fabric. Zelda be over here with the fat stack of 999 rupees at the shop being like,
bring me a finest blue.
What, this look like a f***ing dye shop?
Don't sass me, boy.
Wait.
get me the softest, most blue material you have. And the guy's like, all right, geez, I just work here. But yeah, that was a lot of fun with the texture to work on. And I feel like I had a lot of fun with this drawing in general. But I do actually have some questions for you guys. So if, you know, if you're sitting back having a good time, this is like a no commitment video. Keep doing what you're doing. Have a good time. Don't let me bother you. But for anybody else who has an opinion, I have a question. So with speed paints, as you know, especially if you've done them before, if you've seen them before, sometimes in order to condense the video and not make it last, you know, forever, or to keep the video from going really super freaking fast, you need to cut out some certain bits, which means, you know, oh, if I'm working on the character, only draw the character in the speed paint, or if there is a background involved, skip the background, just work on the character because it's the focus of the drawing. That is an option that would, you know, make it so there's less footage, so when we speed it up, it goes less quickly. And then there's also the trade-off, which are the people that are like, nah, man, I want to see everything. I want to see how you're dumb and you redo the face 30 times. I want to see how you did the whole background 40 times and, you know, just see the whole process. Because I know some people watch these videos to be like, how do I do the thing that they did with that, but better? And pretty much my question for you guys is, what would you prefer that I do? Speed paints where I include most of, if not everything in the drawing, and you kind of just see, pretty much what you see is, you know, the uncut, how I mess up, how I fix things, because in the long term that would be more helpful. Or just the short, sweet, condensed version of like, these are the things, this is how you do the do, my time is valuable, why haven't I clicked away from this video yet? Those are the two options. Please let me know, because you know, comments, they're good sometimes. Will be reading the comments, so if you guys have any opinion on that, whether I should just keep all of the footage or just, you know, keep it shorter so the video doesn't move around as much, that'll be helpful. In regards to the zooming in and out a lot, there is actually a thing that I found that is a useful workaround. For anybody who doesn't know, I have a bad tendency of zooming way in and then way out on a drawing, but I kind of found it's a weird solution, but it does work for me. And that solution is I use an express key remote instead of my actual keyboard for shortcuts, because the problem is I actually use too many shortcuts and I zoom in and out way too much. But with an express key remote, there's a manual input that you can have for zooming in and zooming out, so it's a fixed size. So what it'll do is it keeps me from zooming way in and way out, kind of like you're seeing right here, but you know, it's not like down to the pixel. And I find that that does help for time-lapse videos, because I know that some people get kind of nauseous when they see all over super fast and they're like, whoa, man, this is hard to watch. But hopefully that is a solution for that. And I hope you guys like the drawing. This was actually a lot of fun to work on, especially like you'll see with the hair here. This is actually some stuff that I usually can't do when it's, you know, a bunch of layers, like working on the head, then the hair. Everything layer management wise gets confusing, but this is definitely a technique I'm going to be trying to use more as I go, is like using less layers so the things that I actually draw in them can be more cohesive. I mean, layers are your friends. Use them, but it does also get to a point where they do actually get in your way, because you spend more time navigating, and it's less about making your life easier and saving time, and more about just organization, because you fear that you're going to mess things up. I'm definitely more of the second one, but yeah, I was just trying to use less layers on this one. I do actually like how it turned out, because I feel like it actually makes the image more cohesive. There's less, you know, weird breaks in it. But yeah, for anyone who wants to get a better look at the actual end result of this drawing, I'll have it on Instagram, I'll put it on Twitter. If, you know, that's not enough and you're just like, nah, man, I want to see all of the pixels, you want to see If compression is not your thing and you like all of the pixels, this will also be available on Patreon. And as soon as I can, I will, update my social media whatevers to let you know when this is actually a print. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like the drawing. Let me know what you think of it. Bye!